and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about parenting tips, specifically if you're having problems with the child's behavior and you feel like they're just out of control, chaotic, you don't know what to do or where to go. So these are some tips that I give to caregivers and parents when they reach out to me with some issues. So I actually just used these tips this week. I use them so much consistently that I thought maybe I should just make a video about it because it's something that a lot of parents struggle with. Okay, so disclaimer. I am a licensed professional counselor in training, and what that means is that I have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling, and then I can practice in my state as long as I am under the supervision of a fully licensed clinician who practices. And I do practice, I work with children, I'm a child trauma counselor, but that being said, this is not medical advice, okay? If you really have a true concern about your child, that you think something is really wrong, you should see a clinician. I am not your clinician, I'm not your child's clinician. These tips are just typical general tips that I use, but that being said, I don't know your child's medical history. I don't know the environment they're growing up in or that they grew up in. I don't know any traumas or neurological issues that they have, or their mental health history or any medications that they're on. There are so many things that impact behavior that this definitely should not be used as like the, law or rule when it comes to child behavior, but these are things that help with a lot of children with a lot of issues like ADHD, neurological issues, even children with autism, and some of these rules are very helpful. So, and also children with regular upbringing who don't have trauma backgrounds and no neurological issues or anything like that, they help with those too. But like I said, you should see a clinician if you have a true concern. So the first rule of thumb that I would say is you need to have clearly defined rules in your house. A lot of parents come to me and they're like, I do have rules, they know the rules. So as a test, I say in front of the parent, I look at the child and I say, what are the rules in your house? Most of the time, the kid says like one or two things and then they're stuck. They have no idea. Now it could be because they're not home in the environment and there's not enough cues around, but I can guarantee you that it's mostly because there are no clear rules. It's just an expectation that the parent thinks that they've conveyed because they've said it enough. I've said don't run in the house. I've said don't hit your brother. I've said clean the dishes, So many times you should just know that that's the rule. But that's not how children work, okay? Especially younger children who are like 8, 7, 6 years old. They get super excited on a day-to-day basis about different things that they can forget easily what the rules are, what they're supposed to be doing. So I like to tell parents, picture like a classroom. Your child's classroom has a lot of cues and reminders to help them get through the day. If your child is older in high school or middle school, they may not have like picture schedules around, but they have a clearly structured day so that they know what is expected of them, A high schooler knows after first period, they go to second period. They know what they need to do in the hallways. They know with how to behave in someone's classroom. There's a syllabus that's given out in every class. So I'm not saying your house needs a syllabus, but I'm saying that you need to clearly define the rules. So that can look like creating a behavior chart. I do this with parents all the time, where we talk about what are the key behaviors that you want to see change. We pull them right from the treatment plan, in fact. And we list those things. You usually start with smaller things so that the child, when they accomplish those things regularly, can feel better and boost confidence, because one of the things that children who have behavioral issues experience is low self-esteem. So we want to build that self-esteem up. That's going to help in their behavior later on as well. But anyways, some people will say start with one behavioral change at a time. I think it depends. I definitely wouldn't go past 2 or 3, but I think it depends on the behavior. If it's small behavioral changes, like I want them to take a shower every day, then I might add another one in there too. But anyways, so we have a behavioral chart, and then we also, this is the second thing, establish rewards and consequences. So once we have the behaviors listed on this behavior chart, we have what are the rewards and what are the consequences. Now, this involves a few things. First of all, how many times do they need to do this in order to get the reward? And how many times do they need to not do this in order to get the consequence? I always recommend doing an immediate consequence and an immediate reward, especially in the beginning, because it's going to set the groundwork for going forward, right? So let's say the behavioral change is, what's one that I always see? Brushing your teeth. There we go, that's a good one. Okay, so you want your child to brush their teeth 2 times a day for a week. The first day that they brush their teeth 2 times, you put a star on their chart. You let them put the star on their chart, and then you give them a lot of praise. Oh my goodness, you did such a good job. I'm so proud of you. Look at you being a big boy brushing your teeth. Second day, same thing. Third day, the same thing. Plus, you may want to throw in something else like an extra 5 minutes of whatever their favorite toy is before bed, okay? The fourth day, you may do the gold star thing, and then also just a reminder, hey, you're 3 stars away from getting, you know, whatever the reward is, the big reward at the end of the week. I had one parent say they were going to buy their kid a new fidget at the end of the week. So that's another good thing, like a reminder. The 5th day, you might want to do the same thing as you did the day before, or you might want to do the thing that you did the day before that, where you did like a special, like extra 5 minutes with your toy. 6th day, same thing, like another small little reward. Now the 7th day is when you like actually get to do the thing, the big reward. So that could be like, I always try and steer families away from spending money, so I might say take them to the park, or because that's free, or play a game with them, like their favorite game. Have them pick out the game and you spend 20 minutes playing this game with them, or let them choose what they're going to wear that day if you're always picking out their clothes, or you know, just any like fun thing that you know your kid would like or enjoy, like letting them help you cook one day, things like that, so that you don't have to keep spending money. There were some parents who were like, oh, well, I'm going to take them this place, I'm going to take them that, and I'm just like, okay, but you're thinking about long-term change. So if you're thinking about long-term change, you want to steer away from monetary rewards, because that's going to cost you a lot in the long run, and you're going to be less likely to follow through, and the child therefore is going to go back to old behaviors. So you want to keep it something that's free for you to do and fun for the kid. So just to recap, that second thing is establishing rewards and consequences. You want clear rewards that the child can aspire to and achieve, but the big reward needs to come at the end. So if you said you want them to brush their teeth twice a day for a week, then at the end of the week they get the big reward. But that doesn't mean you're not rewarding them throughout the week. You're doing positive reinforcement to get them rewards, and get them really excited for this big reward. Now you may be thinking, what do I do the next week? What if they go back into old habits? Well, then you do it again. You just keep doing that every week until that behavioral change is an established routine. And then once it is an established routine, let's say you've done it for like a month or something, so 4 weeks in a row, then you can give them like a little big kid party, a big kid dental party, I don't know, where it's just you and the family, you get some dollar store balloons, and you make a big deal out of it. You did a great job. You're a big kid now because you brushed your teeth 2 times a day. And what that does is it kind of like celebrates a landmark in the child's life. I know it's so small and seems insignificant, but to a kid it's going to be like, yes, I've crossed this milestone. And then they're going to be like, I don't want to go back to being a baby and not brushing my teeth. So they're going to want to keep doing that all the time. And so every once in a while you may, want to give them a high five and things like that going forward after that month. But Yeah. So, and also they're going to have slip ups and stuff, and they're going to forget. So it's important for you to remind them. And that's why having clear rules and a daily schedule, or just daily tasks listed out is really important. So the consequences piece is similar to the rewards. You want to be consistent with your consequences. So just like you're consistent with your rewards. So if they miss a toothbrushing thing, like if they only did it one time instead of two, then maybe they don't get a star that day. And then you just say, oh, try again the next day, we'll see. And then I always leave it up to the parents. If the kid did like 6 out of the 7 days or 5 out of the 7 days, you may still want to do the reward. If they just blew it off entirely, you definitely don't want to do the reward. You want the consequences that they don't get that reward. Sometimes the consequence for some kids, I recommend taking something away. So if they can't brush their teeth, they can't have sweets. That's a consequence that makes sense. You don't want them to get cavities, so they can't have sweets. You get rid of the sweets in the house. No cupcakes, no candy, no soda, no juice. If they want juice, they'll have to brush their teeth. Things like that. Okay, number 3, a daily schedule / chore chart. That's going to help a whole heck of a lot because a lot of times kids start misbehaving when there's too much free time in the house. So I don't want to say that your house needs to be like school, but there does need to be like expectations that the kid knows what they're supposed to be doing. Like imagine if school were just this free period of like just learn whatever you want whenever you want to, and all the chaos that would be going on. So that's why it's important to have a schedule and chore chart. So if you are saying your 12-year-old is no longer bathing regularly, then put that on the daily schedule. Hey, did you take a shower today? If you did, let's check that off. Or they don't have to check it off because they're not little, but it's just a good reminder. I have people keep it on the refrigerator or in the child's bedroom on the wall so that they can see, the child can see and be reminded this is what I'm supposed to do every day. Number 4, if they have a tantrum, communicate calmly and do not react to their tantrums. I mean that for little kids, middle schoolers, and high schoolers, and college kids alike. Do not react to their tantrums. If they want to have a fit, if they want to stomp up the stairs, slam doors, do whatever they're going to do, let them do it. Unless they're trying to hurt themselves or somebody else, then you have to intervene for your safety and theirs. If you need to take a break, count to 10, walk out of the room, let them have their little scene, whatever, you know. One of the things that I've noticed about a lot of parents is like, oh, they have an attitude, they stomp their feet, they rolled their eyes, and so I got mad and I punished them more, and I'm like, okay, let me ask you something. When you get angry beyond control, like if you get super angry at your boss, for example, what are the things that you do with your body? That puts things into perspective for them because there's usually no other adult telling them, hey, you rolled your eyes at me, you snapped your neck, you stomped away, you know, whatever. There's no other person putting an adult in check for their, you know, physical symptoms of being angry. So why are you doing that to your child? Like, why are you expecting your child to act like a robot when you don't act like a robot? How do you react when you're angry at home? Do you roll your eyes? Do you stomp away? Do you slam doors? Do you yell? What do you do? How do people know that you're angry? So once I explain it to parents like that, they kind of put it into perspective. Oh, okay, I guess it's not a big deal. Number 5 is be consistent. I have said this throughout the whole entire video, but you want to be consistent with your consequences and consistent with your rewards. There are a lot of parents who are not that way. They will give a reward for 1 week and the next week they forget or they don't or whatever. And they're like, my kid, it's not working. The therapy isn't working. And I'm just like, okay, did you follow the suggestions? Oh, no, we've lost the behavior chart. Well, there you go. If you don't follow my suggestions, it's not going to work. So be consistent with rewards and with punishments. Now, also be consistent with rules. I mentioned earlier that there are parents that will change rules or add them randomly and expect the child to just adapt. If you feel like you forgot a rule in the beginning of establishing rules, then it's okay to just say, hey, I want you to start doing this from now on. I'm going to add it to the rules and to your daily schedule. So going forward from today on out, this is what I want you to do. But don't just all of a sudden punish the child for a rule that has not been established. And then get angry when they react the way any human being would react to something like that. Okay, so those are my 5 tips for parents when they're struggling with behavioral issues. Thank you for watching my video. If you liked this video and you want to see more content like this, like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Bye.